Hello and welcome to How to Pixelmon with Xylophoney. Today we're going to be learning about some Pixelmon tips and tricks and things that'll make you a more effective trainer in general. Now, there's a new series, as you can see, and we're going to continue on with learning some more stuff. Today we're going to be going over the EVs. What are EVs, do you ask? Well, they're not Pokemon EVs. They're not these guys, no! They're something values, no. They are stuff that make your Pokemon good. And so you need them to train. I'm going to show you a couple examples here on why it's good. So we have a Zoroark here, one of the new Pokemon, and it has stats like this. Okay, we're looking here. The thing about Zoroark is we can show you right here that the stats have mostly special attack and some speed. So when you're training a Pokemon with effort values, you're going to want to focus on those two stats to make them extra good. Usually the two stats the Pokemon's best at. So, what we're going to do is show you the difference between special attack speed on a EV trained Pokemon and one without it. So this is Zoroark here. It is a lonely nature which doesn't help any of these stats. The nature is pretty much just something that automatically comes with all Pokemon. You can look up guides such as some in the link down below, which tell you what natures are which, and that'll help you decide what kind of Pokemon you want. So with a Zoroark, we're going to want one that either increases the speed or the special attack, and preferably decreases attack or defense or special defense, something we're not really worrying about too much. And another thing is the attack is also pretty decent on a Zoroark, but if we're going to be focusing on special attack, then the entire moveset's going to be designated towards that, so we don't really need to worry about attack at all. So that's a Zoroark that is not EV trained here. Now, here's an example of one that is. Notice the special attack here is 164 and the speed is 146. Here's one that's EV trained in special attack. Number is 214 and 167. This one has a nature that helps its special attack go faster. Then when it has the correct nature, it gets 10% more of the stats for that. Someone's smiting on the server, how exciting. Yes, but they get 10% more of that stat as you're training them. So this is an example of one that is going to, be very effective. Some of the other stats are obviously better on the other one, and if you train another one randomly, it'll have that effect. But it's overall better if you have a specific goal for every Pokemon you have. For Zoroark, it's going to be to go in, usually hit pretty quickly, and do a lot of special attack damage. So here's an example of one that has a good nature but is not EV trained as well. This one has a good nature, modest, but it doesn't have any of the training. So although it's at 165 and 143, which is, actually it's not better than that. That's a terrible example of one. No, but yeah, this one would be able to be trained up good, but obviously it did not have the training and cannot be done so. So that's the first lesson there. But how to EV train? First thing is, what you don't want to do is you don't want to just run at any Pokemon, such as this Eevee, and kill it. That's not the way to do it. You don't want to just go in fighting every higher level Pokemon that you can find. What you want to do is target specific Pokemon. Now I can leave a link down in the description for you on sites that'll help you find what Pokemon give what stats. But here's some good examples, and throughout the series I'll be randomly showing you guys more of the specific Pokemon to give you the stats. But Golducks are a source of special attack, mainly because Golducks have a lot of special attack, and that means that when you fight them, you're going to gain more special attack stats for yourself. So what you'd want to do is just with any Pokemon, just make sure you get your special attack Pokemon to fight him, and there you go, you're going to get values for that. I'm going to use this one as an example actually. So we're going to get some of the held items here. And Dorm. Here is a power lens. That is good for putting special attack on him. Here's a power anklet. That's good for speed. Now what you should probably do is have one of these items on, and you can just train on whatever you want to that's either speed or special attack. Now the one that has the item on it will obviously go faster, but you'll still be able to get it completely maxed out by the end. And you can always switch the two items at any point if you want to. You'll notice when the stats are maxed just because they'll stop moving. With this one, I'll use this as an example. And there's more smiting going on. Excellent. Now, it's 214 here. I will show you guys an attack on another Golduck here. And, yeah, there's another Golduck I can demonstrate with. Perfect. So we're gonna take this one out. And... come on, a little bit more. There, that has been killed. And now you can see on this that its special attack did not go any higher. Actually, it might have. Am I done training this guy? I don't know. Either way, yeah. Not a perfect series, but if you train it with a Pokemon that has not been EV trained at all, this one I actually just leveled up with rare candy, so it's a decent example. And then you fight it. I didn't even look at it beforehand, did I? Oh, we're gonna run here. Hold on, I want to see the stats beforehand. Come on. Suicide! Tips: in Pixelmon, suiciding will save your life. But here we can see it is 165 special attack. Now if we fight another Golduck, which seemed to have disappeared, so we'll have another one here. Come on, Golduck. And you go and fight it with this. Then, I have no attacks on this guy whatsoever. We're gonna use Pursuit. That'll get him down. Yeah. And the special attack has raised to 166. Was it already at that? Well, sometimes it takes a little bit of extra training. So, we're gonna fight a speed Pokemon, such as Zubat here, and you'll still get credit for, I think it's 1 speed EV from that, and 3 from the item here. So there, 167, and the speed also gained another EV. Now, when you get the EV point, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll see stats go up right away. The stats go up 1 point for every 4 EV points gained. So Magikarps here, they give you 1 speed EV. So we're looking at 143 right now. We're going to kill some Magikarps until we see some results. Meanwhile, we have the special attack held item on, so we're going to see the special attack raise significantly as we train on Magikarps. That's a really good way to get the EV training maxed out if you're worrying about that. Then you can do that, and you really don't need to worry too much about doing the wrong EVs, because if you do the wrong EVs, you can end up having a Zoroark with like tons of attack and defense, when that's not really what you're going to be wanting to focus on. And this goes for any Pokemon. There's Pokemon that can be tanky, there's Pokemon that can be more effective in attack, and all kinds of stat. Every stat has a Pokemon that's good with it. 143, I believe one more Magikarp should do it. Goldeen, that's physical attack, so we would want to stay away from that as we're training. DJ's having some fun. Alright, so Pursuit. Here we go. And there we go, 144. So it was 4 points, and that gave us a full stat there. Now to get the full max capped stats of it, you're going to have to do a lot of this EV training, which can actually be done, most of it, while you're training. You can fight things like, level 24 Voltorbs, Electrodes are great for speed, Golbats. That way you can get all your training while you're actually EV training. And you want to make sure to do that if you're throughout the entire training of the Pokemon, if you're trying to do that. Here's a Psyduck, and you can get this for special attack, and that will pretty much get your Pokemon as good as it can be stat-wise. Now when it comes to the stats, why do I keep using embargo? Gosh. It's not always about just the stats and just the EVs. There's a lot of things that go into it. Like you can look at this Zoroark, and its moveset is no good moves or anything. But I'm going to use the actual trained Zoroark as an example here, and use the Shadow Ball TM, which is a special attack. Now I'm going to just replace Scratch for that, because Scratch is kind of terrible. And Shadow Ball is a very good special attack, which Zoroark can learn. Another example would be a Focus Blast, which is a special fighting move. I believe it's the only special fighting move in the game, at least the only TM. So we're just going to replace this. And there we go. So now we have a little bit of a better moveset on our Zoroark. Over time, we would want to make sure to get any move that we want to use, we would want it as special attack. Because once again, when you look at the stats, it only has 144 attack, but 215 special attack. So that's what we want to focus on. Anyway, I believe that is a good overview of what EVs can do for you and why you should train on them. So if you have any questions about this, make sure you leave them down in the comments below, or send a message to me on Twitter at Xylophoney Games, and I'll make sure to answer that right away. But we'll also be having more episodes coming out in the future to explain things such as hold items, team composition, movesets, and then we're going to get into explaining specific Pokemon and how you can train them to make them good. So if you have any Pokemon that you're interested in using and you want them to be the best they can be, leave them their names in the comments below, and I will make sure to put them into the series in future episodes. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time in How to Pixelmon, and goodbye.